world, I'm Miyah and I would like to welcome you to the latest episode of my blog series. So far, I have been able to share my own experiences with you guys on what it's like for me to live with Asperger syndrome. A second thing that I will do is give my 2 cents on what's going on with autism and the media. A third area entails giving tips and advice to those of you who are on the autism spectrum, as well as you family members, educators, friends, peers, mentors, in addition to people in the community in general. Now, before I dive into today's topic, what I would like to do is mention 2 things. So, first and foremost, I have started a series of written blogs under Wordpress.com, and you can find that link down here in the lower right corner. That's helloworld240.wordpress.com. helloworld240.wordpress.com. And unlike these video blogs, I'm creating a series of scholarly works with lots of citations and different references based on all kinds of articles that I'm reading. So please be sure to check those out. And a second thing that I would like you guys to do is click up here in the upper right corner. And this is a TED Talk by Rosie King, who is also on the autism spectrum like myself. And what she talks about is her own experiences of living with autism and how she uses her imagination, which can lead to some classic behaviors that are displayed in someone with autism. And she talks about how other people have failed to understand that. And I think she brings something really important to the table about the labeling. So please be sure to check out Rosie's work. Now, what I would like to do is share my tips and advice to those of you who are parents, as well as those of you who are therapists, especially behavior specialists, in addition to those of you who are on the autism spectrum as well, because I think it's really critical. And I would like to do is share a story first and then provide my tips. So first and foremost, I recently went to a talk by Dr. Grandin on Mother's Day 2016, which was May 8th. And what I found out is that I had gone and reserved 2 seats. And 1 seat was for a friend, and one of the other volunteer ushers had put a cardigan in that second chair so that nobody would take it. And I put my purse in the first chair. Well, I went to go volunteer, and when I came back, I noticed that there were 2 girls who I happened to know from the Autism Center, where I was not only diagnosed, but I had received services. And one of them tried to sit in the seat where the cardigan was, because maybe they didn't really read the cues that whenever you put a jacket or a purse in a seat, it means that it's taken. So I calmly had to walk up and let her know, "Excuse me, I would love to have you sit next to me. Unfortunately, this is reserved for a friend and I." And I tried to be friendly with her because I hadn't seen her in a while. And of course, she was so upset because her parents and her sister were sitting in the same area. And I can understand that they wanted to sit together. And she started to have a meltdown, and she was having a fit. "But I want to sit in the front." And I said, "Well, there's some other seats over there. I'm sorry, but I already reserved this spot for a friend who's never seen Dr. Grandin before." And I also tried to be friendly with their mother. And of course, she was so distracted and so angry that she seemed to take an attitude with me. I said, "How are you doing?" "Good!" And she was rolling her eyes at me, and she was, giving me several dirty looks, so she went and sat down somewhere else. And I wanted to provide a few tips on that. So for those of you who are parents, and for those of you who are on the spectrum, yes, I understand that you have a very hard time reading social cues, but a basic one should be that whenever you see a purse, or you see a hat, or you see a jacket covering a seat, it means that that spot has been reserved. A second thing to notify to your therapist is, good job. You should be teaching them the basics, such as knowing when it's appropriate to try to sit in a seat that has that's open for you, or whether or not it belongs to somebody else for the time being. And third, I'd like to talk to you parents. Yes, I know that you want to protect your child, but unfortunately, when it comes to other people already reserving seats in advance, you need to understand that your child will not always get their way, and that doesn't always sit well with others in society. And I'm really sorry that I couldn't provide an extra seat for your second daughter. But at the same time, you need to be gracious, and you need to teach your kids that they cannot always have their way. And you also need to be respectful of the other person in society. Now, luckily, I'm on the autism spectrum, and I understand what it's like where if you want to sit in a certain spot and somebody tells you no. So yeah, I don't like to be told no either, but it's better to learn to take no for an answer, and it's better to learn, again, that you can't always have your way. And I would like to now recommend that you guys post a series of comments below. If you would also like to follow me, please be sure to subscribe. And also be sure to follow me under Twitter at SummerGirl43. Until next time, I'm Miyah Sendermeyer.